Hey everyone, welcome to another segment of Recovery TV. Hang in there with me today as we're going to tackle the F word. It's probably not the one you're thinking of, but there'll be more on that coming up, so stay tuned. Alright, it's me again, here to bring you a glimpse inside my therapist's mind. And today we're going to tackle this F word. But before we go there, I just want to remind you to subscribe to our channel so that you can get more valuable videos like this one. And don't forget to ring that bell so that you'll be notified as we post new videos to our channel. So let's begin, because I know that you're all wondering, what F word am I talking about here? Well, I'm not talking about the 4-letter word that we may have grown or may not have grown accustomed to in our culture. I'm talking about the 11-letter word. You have any ideas what I mean? I'll give you a chance to guess. You got it. I'm talking about forgiveness. So the forgiveness, it may not be all that threatening of a word to you if you haven't ever experienced a situation where you've had to truly forgive, or if you're not currently in a situation where you've had to forgive. But for those of you that have gone through those experiences, you know exactly what I'm talking about, how difficult of a word or concept this is. Webster defines forgiveness as to cease to feel resentment, basically toward an offender. I agree with Webster. I think it's a good working definition, but it doesn't quite capture it, does it? It seems like there's something missing. In my work as a therapist, I've come to believe that this concept of forgiveness is one of the most difficult and challenging concepts in human and relational functioning. And the reason why is because it's so stinking ambiguous. We can't define it. We can't describe it. And when we try to, you're going to find that it's different from person to person. I hear my clients asking questions like, what does forgiveness feel like? How do I know I've truly forgiven? What does it mean to have forgiven some but not all the way? And is that even possible? Does it mean I'll never feel the feelings of sadness or hurt or pain from the event that I experienced? And if not, does that mean that I haven't truly forgiven? I wish I had all the answers for you, but I don't. But I do want to offer you some thoughts and insight that might be helpful for you as you navigate the F word in your own life. So the first thing I want to mention is that Webster is on the right track about letting go of resentment. But I'd like to add a couple more feelings to that list. Not just resentment, but feelings like contempt and anger. Those feelings simply cannot be sustained on the other side of forgiveness. That doesn't mean you won't ever experience those feelings. It just means they can't live for very long. And so what often happens when people have forgiven is that they have those feelings and they very quickly transition into feelings like pity and sorrow. The second thing I want to point out is that this is a process. This means that you can forgive some, and then some more, and then some more. And when that happens, you often will find yourself re-experiencing the violation again in your mind or in your heart. And every time that happens, you are in the position to forgive again and again and again and maybe again, and it's for the same offense. So you have to remember that this is a process that takes time. You cannot rush this type of process. The last thing I want to point out is that forgiveness does not mean eliminating sadness. You will feel sad through this process, but you'll also feel sad sometimes after this process. Think about the idea of losing a loved one. When you have lost a loved one and had that experience, the feelings of sadness are often very intense in the beginning. But as you work through your sadness and you work through your grief, the sadness and the intensity of it begins to lessen. Whatever it is that you have gone through that requires you forgiving somebody and working through that, the intensity might be very high in the beginning. But as you begin to grieve properly and work through those feelings and all of the feelings that come with it, when you're truly forgiven and then a memory is triggered, yes, you might feel sad from it, but that sadness will be far from overwhelming. So there you have it. It's not a perfect understanding or roadmap to the F word, but I hope that some of the things that you heard in this video will empower you as you navigate the pain and suffering of your own life. But let me give one final note to something, is that there are some things that we experience in life that are very painful, and the pain runs very deep. Things like infidelity, addiction, other secrecy and deception, anything that really takes the form of betrayal can be a very deep wound and often requires more help than what we'd like to admit. So if you're going through something like that and you're having a really hard time with it, I really would encourage you to seek out a professional counselor to help you navigate those treacherous waters. You can go to websites like psychologytoday.com or goodtherapy.com, and you can locate and find providers that are in your area. I'll make sure I include links to those websites in the description of this video, as well as some good reads that I recommend. I appreciate you being with us today and hope you'll join us again next time. Thanks.